Well, a fight over real estate between giants Zillow and Compass is boiling over as Zillow's new policy banning some listings from its website goes into effect.
All right, my friend, Zillow just got slapped with another lawsuit, and not by some small-town brokerage. We're talking about Compass. The biggest residential real estate brokerage in the country by sales volume is suing Zillow, the biggest real estate portal in the country. In other words, this is like Coke suing Pepsi for hogging soda fountains. Instead of sugar water, the stakes here are the entire home search market in the United States. So what's Compass accusing Zillow of? Well, basically that Zillow's been running a monopoly playbook dressed up as consumer protection. According to Compass, Zillow's new policy bans any listing from their site if it's marked somewhere else for more than 1 day before hitting Zillow or an MLS feed. If a seller wants to do what Compass agents have been doing, release a private exclusive to their clients first, then a coming soon phase, then finally go public, Zillow now says, nope. If you keep that house in the shadows for even 48 hours, we're going to ban it from Zillow, Trulia, and all of our affiliated portals. And here's where it gets spicy. Zillow isn't just a website. They've got 160 million homes in their database, 227 million unique monthly visitors, and 2.4 billion site visits in just the first quarter of this year. If Zillow bans your listing, it's basically the same as telling the internet your house doesn't exist. That's not a policy, that's a digital chokehold. But wait, Zillow's defense is hilarious. Their official statement is that they're doing this to help buyers because hiding listings creates a fragmented market. In other words, they're framing this as a noble crusade for consumer choice. Zillow, the company that already bought its biggest competitor, Trulia, for $2 billion, now wants you to believe it's just here to make sure homeownership stays fair and accessible. Yeah, and I'm here to make sure that Oreos end up in my mouth. By the way, we track all of these shifts every week in the Deal Watch, a free newsletter that highlights the flips and market moves Zillow would never spotlight on their homepage. Think of it as Zillow's homework without their spin. It's free, no gimmicks, and you'll see deals and data before the headlines catch up. So if you're interested in flipping houses, investing in real estate, buying or selling a house, and you just want more market insights, make sure you click the link down in the description. It is completely free. Now, here's why this fight matters in 2025. The housing market is stuck. Home sales in May ticked up 0.8% from April, but that was still the slowest May since 2009. Inventory, meanwhile, jumped 20% year over year. That means more homes are sitting around longer and more agents are fighting tooth and nail to get them sold. Compass's private exclusive strategy gave their agents leverage. They could offer buyers something that wasn't plastered across the internet yet. Sellers like that too because it made their homes feel exclusive before hitting the MLS. Zillow's new ban nukes that entire business model. And don't miss the timing. Zillow's policy goes into effect June 30th, right as the market is slowing down and agents are desperate for an edge. Compass says Zillow is doing this to monopolize the listing funnel so that eventually all roads lead to Zillow. And Zillow can not only sell ads, but eventually control mortgage leads, iBuying, rentals, and more. If you're wondering what their endgame looks like, just picture Zillow as Amazon, but for houses. Instead of searching Amazon for every product, you'd be searching Zillow for every house, while every other brokerage is just a third-party seller hoping not to get undercut by the platform. But here's where the dominoes start to fall. If Compass loses this lawsuit, Zillow cements its position as the unavoidable gatekeeper. Agents who try to play outside the system get punished. Sellers lose the ability to pre-market homes in creative ways. Buyers only see what Zillow lets through the filter. That's not just control, that's monopoly-level influence over what's supposed to be an open market, my friends. On the flip side, if Compass wins, we get years of legal drama, appeals, injunctions, and enough court filings to keep the Real Estate Bar Association in business for the next decade. So win-win for everybody. Meanwhile, Zillow has to pump the brakes on its empire building. And make no mistake, that's exactly what this is, empire building. Zillow already controls the lion's shares of real estate eyeballs. Now they want to control the sequencing of listings too. Let's be real, this isn't happening in a vacuum. The National Association of Realtors is reeling from lawsuits of its own. Commissions are being rewritten. Home affordability is at historic lows. Insurance premiums are eating into buyers' budgets. The old playbook for selling homes is collapsing, which means, ironically, this is the perfect time for Zillow to try to consolidate power. While the industry is distracted, they're tightening the screws. But here's what Zillow isn't saying out loud. This fight isn't really about protecting consumers, it's about protecting traffic. Zillow makes money by selling leads back to agents. If homes start selling off platforms through private exclusives, that traffic drops, and so does Zillow's ad revenue. So this ban is less about consumer choice and more about making sure that every single click, view, and inquiry flows through Zillow's toll booth. Think about it like this. Zillow is basically Netflix, but imagine if Netflix sued movie theaters for doing early screenings, saying, "You're fragmenting the film industry." Compass, in this metaphor, is the movie theater. Oh, and the audience? That's you and me. Just wanting to see what's out there without being told which listings are allowed to view. The lawsuit is asking for triple damages, an injunction to stop Zillow's ban, and recognition that this is an antitrust violation. If Compass can prove that Zillow's exclusionary policies are locking up the market, the court could force Zillow to back off. But antitrust cases aren't exactly speedy. This could drag out for years. And in the meantime, Zillow's policy still went live June 30th. So where does that leave us? Compass is swinging a sledgehammer at the portal giant, but Zillow's holding all the listing cards. Buyers are stuck in the middle, sellers are losing leverage, and agents are staring down the future where Zillow decides how and when their listings get seen. Which means the real estate market isn't just fighting affordability problems or high interest rates anymore, it's fighting a gatekeeper problem. And the scariest part, if Zillow gets away with this, it sets the blueprint for how tech platforms can dominate other industries, control traffic, control the market. But here's the upside, you guys. Crashes and legal battles like this always create opportunities. Zillow may tighten the funnel, but markets always push back. Sellers will find new ways to create exclusivity. Buyers will start seeking off-market channels, and investors who understand where to look will find value that doesn't show up in Zillow's neat little feed. That is exactly why we created the Deal Watch, because the big portals aren't built to help buyers and investors find opportunity. They're built to help themselves make money. They have a fiduciary responsibility to their stockholders. If they don't make money, they don't win, and massive amounts of money come through the portals. If you want to see the real deals and data before Zillow spins it into a press release, Deal Watch is where we track it. It's free, it's weekly, and it keeps you one step ahead. So, is Zillow really protecting buyers from hidden homes, or are they just locking down the last choke point before the housing slowdown turns ugly? Either way, one thing's clear. The biggest real estate fight of 2025 isn't over mortgage rates or home prices. It's about who controls the listings. And right now, Zillow's acting like it already owns the board. All right, folks, see you on the next one. Bye.